right, get to work, get to work. I'll be watching you with hawk eyes this whole time, okay? I am not in the mood to tell you that again, as your one job as the younger wife in this house is to get all the chores done, even while everyone else is here.
Get to work? But there's nothing left for me to do now. I've cleaned up all the dishes, and there isn't anything else to vacuum now. I've gone through all the house and wiped down all the tables, and have gone up to every window and sprayed them and cleaned them in order to let the most light through them. I went and swept the stairs for you, as well as cleaned the kitchen floor and took out all the trash.
Have you gotten around to doing the laundry and all of that?
I finished with the laundry a little while ago. You can even see that everything is all folded up and put into our rooms to be placed away later. And I made sure to change the sheets on the sofa as well. So at this point, there is really nothing left for me to clean or do for you. I can't even think of another thing I could work on that would make any sense at this point.
Are you sure that's how you want to end things? All of the family will be coming here really soon, and you have to make a name for yourself by making this place look spectacularly clean. If there's one thing that they spot and comment on, I'm going to make sure you take responsibility for it. Will you be able to do that? It'll be a lot of pressure, and a lot of these people are much more strict than even I am.
Then can you go around and do a quick look over for me to see if there's anything I missed? That way we can both be on the same page about the cleanliness here and I won't have to be too worried anymore.
Huh? Does that mean you're not going to be able to take responsibility for yourself? That's what it sounds like to me. Do you not have the confidence where you need me to come around and check everything for you? That is not my job to be doing. You should be more than capable of cleaning and doing chores in this house without having someone like me come around and spot check all your work.
All right. But this is how things always go with you, Jennifer. I ask you to check things for me first so that we can avoid conflicts later, but instead you don't bother to help by doing that, so at some point you can complain about me. It's not that I'm saying you want me to mess up on purpose, but it sure does seem like that way sometimes.
Then, if you don't want me to complain about you anymore, do a better job at cleaning what I've asked you to clean. If you can do that for me, then you might actually end up being a good wife for my son.
Are you serious?
I'll have you know that I've been to over 100 different kinds of high-end hotels, and have always made comments about the cleanliness of them. So, if you can get me to not say a single word about your cleaning, then that means you are doing better than over 100 different hotels are. That should make you happy, right?
What? Over 100 different hotels. Complaining that much about all of their cleanliness just makes you look more like a stuck-up snob than anything else.
You're a real pain in my butt. I think I'm going to have to raise you again, since your parents seem to have failed at that. Unlike women nowadays, back when I was first becoming my husband's wife, my mother-in-law pushed me so hard to make sure that I'd be perfect at everything. And now, having to see this new generation of wives has left me shocked. I can't believe that all of you just want to sit around all day doing everything so sloppily around the home.
We aren't trying to sit around all day doing nothing, though. At least I'm not trying to.
I know you all are. I've seen it with my own eyes time and time again. Especially you, Morgan. So I'm going to break you down and rebuild you from the ground up, all right? So be ready. It will not be easy, and I'm going to be honest and say that you will cry even more now with me working on you than when you were a baby.
But listen, what's with you putting up that camera in the living room to watch over me all the time? That right there shows me that you're taking this way too far. You're trying to make it really hard for me to have any time to take a break and relax.
You have no right to be allowed a break time in this house. When you are here, you have to work every second of the day, making sure the place is spotless and smells like nothing besides detergent. You will not stop working. I'll make sure of it, you useless woman.
Useless woman.
Morgan, are you doing all right? I just realized that it looks like you've been working all day to clean. How about you take a moment to sit down and relax a little?
Ah, Selena. Thank you so much for asking about how I'm doing. but unfortunately for me, I'm not able to take any time off for a break. I was told that I'm a useless woman. And so if I stop doing the chores here, I'll be done for.
What are you talking about right now?
Well, there's a lot that's gone into it, so... But just be aware that for the time being, I can't take any breaks, as it would not end well for me. I'm happy to see that you've noticed me working a lot, but I'm afraid it's going to have to stay this way today.
Does this mean that Jennifer said something to you that's made you act like that? I know that woman well, and this all seems like something she'd do.
It was something she told me. She told me this is to help retrain me and that this was for my own good so that I can remain a part of this family.
I see. That woman sure is a thing for making sure everyone is the perfect wife for their husband. She's way too old, though, for her to not be embarrassed by the way she acts. Well, listen, Morgan, you don't have to worry about a word that woman says to you, and you can take as many breaks as you'd like.
What? Are you sure about that? But...
You've already put in so much work getting all this cleaning done, so it'd be wrong of us to continue to make you work into the afternoon. I'd like you to take a seat with all of us and talk about yourself a little. After all, everyone's come here today to relax and chat.
All right. Thank you so much for checking up on me. It really helps me out a bunch.
By the way, have you brought any of what's been going on here up with Isaiah? Told him about how Jennifer is trying to work you way too hard? I'm sure he'd have something to say to his own mother, knowing what things she's done to you already.
Not yet. There hasn't been anything yet between her and I that would make me go to him about it yet. Also, Isaiah is in the middle of a couple of projects for work, so he doesn't have time to focus on this. And I don't want to get him all worried about what's going on here with his mom when he needs to be there.
You say that, but I feel as though he seems really worried about you and what you've been up to under the influence of your mother-in-law. I'm sure he realizes that something is up with you. So I really believe that you should bring this all up with him for once.
Of course. You are correct about what my Jennifer has been doing to me today, and that she has gone a little overboard with it. I will plan on bringing things up with him, or at least doing something that will really get his attention then.
Oh, is that right? I guess I didn't think you'd be willing to try and get his attention after saying you didn't want to disturb him. Well, that makes me feel a little better. I think that you'll be able to do all right then.
I think so too. So please, don't worry too much about me, and trust that I'll be able to handle all of this in one way or another. Go ahead and get back to chatting with everyone else now.
Thank you. I think I will then, but I'll make sure to watch and see how things go for you. You? Where the hell have you gone? Hurry up right now and get back here and get more work done. Plates are beginning to pile up in the sink.
I'm sorry, but I'm at the hospital right now.
Huh? The hospital? You're not some kind of nurse, right? You're a housewife that needs to stay in the home. Why did you think it was important of you to go to this hospital at a time like this?
Even if I'm not a nurse or anything like that, when I'm not doing well, I have the right to go to a hospital, correct? So, let me explain what's happened. I happened to bleed a ton when you hit me in the head with that dinner tray and have to go to the hospital to get myself checked out. Are you happy to have your explanation now?
Huh? Why would there ever be any blood coming out of your head? I barely even hit you.
Are you kidding? Take a look at the gosh dang sofa that I was sitting on, please. There's blood all over it still, right?
And that's evidence of why it's not okay for you to be sitting on any sofa at all, right? You are a housewife and have work left to do, so there's no way I was going to allow you to slack off.
What is so bad about me taking a second to sit on the sofa? And it's not even like I was sitting down in the same room as all the rest of the people, right?
A wife like you has no right to even a millisecond of sitting time. I already told you all of this before, right? Another thing, why were you showing all of the guests today to that other room in the house? It's because of you showing them to the room all the way on the other side of the house that they've made my job harder by being so far away from the kitchen.
I just assumed since that other room had a much more relaxed vibe to it, it'd be easier on everyone and they wouldn't have to continue sitting on that old couch in the living room.
Well, you made work on yourself only grow even more by doing something like that, right? I've had enough of this, so get your butt back to the house. I need you back here working right now.
Why are you being so strict with your son's wife like this?
I'm doing all this for your sake, that's why. Back when I was your age, I had the same thing happen between myself and my mother-in-law, who worked me very hard.
Are you talking about Selena?
That's right. I was given the most strict upbringing by her that any wife has ever had on this planet. And that's why I'm going to make you work as hard as I was forced to.
So this is what all that hard work was about? It's because of your own past that you decided to hit me outside the head with a dinner tray and make me bleed?
Shut up. This all has to do with you always being a frickin' brat talking back to me like you have any say. You are worse than any other housewife I've known. Why did my sweet little boy have to end up marrying such a useless woman like you? Now get your butt back to this house. I'm going to make you work as all wives are supposed to.
I told you it's not going to happen now. I'm in the hospital at the moment to get my head taken care of. Also, why would I ever want to go back to some place where the person who assaulted me is at?
You think that I assaulted you just then? Stop being so overdramatic. I had to make sure to reset your brain after you thought it was a good idea to take a break while you were cleaning and catering to my friends and family. What the hell do you think you're doing going to a hospital after getting hit in the head with a simple tray? Well, now it's your turn, right? Huh? Hello, Jennifer. I had a good look at the moment you took that tray and swung it into Morgan's head a little bit ago. Oh, did you? But that's just the way I chose to handle things. I'm not going to listen to anything more from her about being such a victim to my way of treating her. So just understand that, please. All right, then. Well, I wasn't going to say anything about it anyway. Now, the next time we're all coming over will be in 2 weeks, right? I'll see you all again then. Wait, what are you doing? Why do you think you have to punch me now? You want to know why? Because you decided to sit down with the rest of us when you are the wife of this house. I'm the wife, but from my point of view, you are a younger wife than me in this house, therefore you don't get to have any time to take any breaks. You have to work all the time to clean the place up and serve everyone, right? And so far you've only shown that you're a useless woman. So tell me why you thought it was a good idea to sit on the sofa like that? Oh, wait, that's because... Are you going to try and tell me that punching you would be taking things too far? That's pretty bold of you to say when just a couple of weeks ago you sent your daughter-in-law to the hospital after hitting her in the head with a dinner tray. Well, I didn't do that in front of everyone. I made sure to do that in a place where none of you guys could see it happen. And that's because you knew if you did something as ridiculous as that in front of everyone else, they'd have some awful things to say about you, right? Well, that's right? After all, you did hit her in the head with a darn dinner tray. And you know that no matter what reason you may have had for that, the rest of us would not forgive you for it, right? You have no right to be saying things like this about me. And here we go again with that horrible attitude of yours. You really have me thinking once again about your actions. It's like you're back to that same old toxic woman from back in the day. Shut up! You were the one that treated me like crap when you started to train me to be a good wife. You wanted to make sure that a young wife like me back then would be perfect, and that's why you treated me so poorly at the house. I'm not going to let you say you forgot about all of that. So you are trying to say that the reason you're treating Morgan so poorly is because that's the way you were treated by your mother-in-law back in the day? That's exactly right. That's a fact. Well, I don't ever remember treating in any way what was unfair or justified back then. I only happened to tell you that you were making mistakes and that you were wrong from a mother's perspective. Nope, you absolutely did not do that. You tried to abuse me back then in order to do everything you'd ask of me. It's probably because of all that stress you had that you'd pick fights with me and bully me. Well, you would go out and spend the family credit card on things that were only meant for yourself and without anyone's permission. And you'd use your husband's company's money to take yourself to all kinds of high-end hotels for weeks, right? You were one of the worst wives ever back then. This has nothing to do with what's going on right now. I think it has every bit of a connection to what's been going on here. You happened to go against everything the family asked you to stop doing back then. What you were doing was laced with problems, and it had to stop. That's the reason for everything that happened after, right? Have you still not come around to accepting that yet? Ugh! You're so annoying! I was still young back then, so stop trying to put all the blame on me for what happened back then. And Morgan is the same age now, just about, that you were back when that was all going on, right? I can't do this anymore. I told you to shut up because you're being so annoying right now. An old witch like you needs to shut the hell up already. Ugh. Jesus Christ. You've fallen right back to where you started. You don't think that you can get away with things now just because you've become friends with that old witch. I promise you I'll destroy that old witch if that's what you really want to see, and then I'll have you trapped with nowhere left to run.
Destroy her.
I mean exactly what I said there. Did you know that she hit me in the head with a tray as well now? And she did that in front of all the family and friends that were gathered here. So I will take her to court and sue her butt.
What? But, Jennifer, you did the exact same thing to me a little while back, right? Do you think it's okay that you're the only one allowed to do things like that?
I was doing it as a way to get you to stop messing around, but that old witch only did it as a way of picking on me in front of everyone.
Your way of getting me to stop? I'm sorry, but that's not the way I saw it when you hit me so hard you lacerated my head! So, if you really are going to be suing Selena over this, then I'm going to sue you for hitting me in the head!
Excuse me, what the hell are you talking about?
Hold on, you've been talking about this the whole time, right?
Well, listen, miss. Do you even have evidence of me hitting you in the head with any dinner tray?
Are you kidding me?
I never hit you in the head with anything, not even a dinner tray. Selena may be saying that she saw something like that happen, but in her old age, I'm sure her eyes are not 20/20, right?
I can't believe this. It's like you're not even human anymore, that's how screwed up your head is. Not only are you just an awful mother-in-law, but at this point, I think you're better off being locked up in some asylum for the way you're behaving.
Ah, are you trying to make fun of me now? I'll take you to court as well over something like that.
I'm sure you may have forgotten this, but the room you hit me in the head with that dinner tray in happens to be the same room you installed that camera in to watch me. So, that night when I came back to the house, I went and saved all the recordings on that camera to my phone. And so, the evidence of you hitting me really hard over the head with that dinner tray, and all the blood that came out of me after, is saved on my phone.
So that's why you had all those people at the time moved over into the other room to relax for a bit.
That's right. I was thinking it'd be the best place to do it since you probably wanted to keep all your actions a secret from everyone else. However, I never thought you'd end up assaulting me in any way when I chose to take a small break on the sofa.
Then what about the place that Selena ended up hitting me in the head at?
You had that happen to you back in that other room, where there is no camera installed at. Jennifer, you keep talking about how someone like Selena hit you in the head the same way as you hit me, but are you sure something like that really took place?
You'd better stop messing around. Well, it's all going to be okay. There may be no video evidence, but there were a ton of other bystanders in the room at the time that witnessed what happened to me. I'll ask them all to come and help me, and then I'll have the two of you ruined for the rest of your lives.
And I hope that all goes well for you.
Hey, you! What the hell have you said to Isaiah about this? Also, when it comes to my husband, did you say something to him as well?
What do you think I said to them?
I am not here to play games with your stupid butt anymore. I was told by my son just a little bit ago that he wants to cut ties to me forever.
Well, that just happens to be because someone like him does not like the fact that you treated his wife horribly and even hit her in the head with a tray, sending her into the hospital, right? You can relax now because I didn't do or say anything to him that would make him want this.
Stop it with all your bullcrap. Then tell me about my husband then. My husband is asking to get a divorce from me now after what you've done.
And I'd like to think that it's for the same reason as Isaiah had. I believe that your husband was on his last leg with you, and what you did to me was the last straw and made him want to jump ship. Jennifer, I understand that you were going to look for people to back you up over this, but it seems everyone just wants to cut ties with you. Well, that's only natural of all of them. You've been a total jackass this entire time.
What? No matter what you say, this is all your fault. I was just trying to fix you because you were a terrible wife and woman, yet now everyone is trying to leave me. Why me? The only terrible wife in this family is you, Jennifer. You? What do you want from me, you old witch? Look at that. The moment people start to do and say things you don't like, you begin to call them bad names like old witch. You are the one that did many things wrong and are being punished for them, but are too self-centered to even take a moment to reflect on that. I can't believe it, though. You haven't changed one bit from the monster you were in the past. I am speechless. You are always trying to act like you're better than everyone else. Do you think you're the perfect woman? Sure. I'm not perfect, but I sure am better than you. I happen to not be the one with fingers pointed at her for picking on and assaulting her daughter-in-law. Shut up! You have heard about how my son will be divorcing you now, right? In other words, that means you and I will never have to talk to one another ever again. Thank you for what little you offered. Goodbye forever now. What is this? You came all the way out to contacting me just to say something as BS as that? If anything, you're the one with far worse heart than me. Right. After all, I was so bad that you would start calling me an old witch again. Well, I hate being called something like that, and that's why I am really pissed off with you now. And that is the reason why I will not make things easy for you, and I will make sure that when this is all said and done, you will no longer be able to touch my family ever again. And will go rot in hell with the rest of this world's evil. Ugh! I've had enough with you all messing around with me! So with that, goodbye forever.
Jennifer, can you please stop walking all over outside my house like that? We have all cut ties to you already, so you need to give up and go away.
Why, Morgan? That house is the place I'd been living in for the past 30 years. I'm asking you to please forgive me. Please just let me back into your lives.
This was not the choice I ended up making, Jennifer. You are the one that lost your husband after he divorced you, and so there's nothing I can do to help get things back to the way they were. Just go back to your parents' house or something to live the rest of your life.
I don't want to, though. I want to be back living in that house with you. I will apologize for everything I did to you, so please forgive me. I'm asking you to please help me.
It's not going to happen now. And there's nothing I can do to help you after all the trouble you started. Now, if you are going to continue standing outside our house all day causing us trouble, I'm going to have to call the police and have them take you away.
No! Please don't call the police on me now. I won't do anything to you guys, all right? Okay? I'll go away soon.
Wait, Jennifer? Have you done something bad that might get the police to take interest in you?
No, I haven't done anything wrong. I just don't want to deal with the police right now. They scare me, that's why.
Well, I understand there being people that get nervous when they see the police. It's just a natural thing, but... Jennifer, if you've done something wrong that they might be after you for, you should just turn yourself in and confess to it.
I told you I haven't done anything wrong, though, so you don't have to worry about me. So, with that being said, let me ask you this. Do you think you'll ever be able to forgive me?
Asking me to forgive you? Well, based on what the rest of the family is saying about you, I'd rather not have anything to do with you anymore. So please just understand that and go!
But what if I do seriously change my ways this time and make sure to treat you very well?
The problem is, no matter how many times you try and change yourself to get us to take you back, you'll just start being a complete witch again. After all, you complained to over 100 different high-end hotels about their service and cleanliness. So I'm sure you'll never stop complaining, right? After that, I went ahead and blocked my mother-in-law's phone number, and since then I haven't heard a thing from her. However, she continued to come by our house quite often to take a look at us and what we were up to. So I had the police called on her, and since then I've never had to see her around our house anymore. I am a little bit worried that she has been up to something no good, and that's why she was so nervous about having the police called on her. But as I was watching the news, wondering about what happened to her, a story came on about how she had been arrested by them. And the reason she was arrested was for purse snatching. She seemed to have been taking all kinds of things out of people's purses and would sell them to pawn shops for quick money. That wasn't all, though. She had also had an expired driver's license while driving her car around town, which only added to her problems. I really have no idea why things ended up this badly for her and why she chose to do things that were illegal in the end. But it made me laugh seeing her be arrested for that. After being arrested and taken to court, she was forced to pay a huge settlement to all the victims of her purse-snatching antics, as well as a fine for driving with an expired license. At that point, it seemed that Jennifer had truly been defeated as she had lost all her money, and so she left town and went back to her hometown looking for help. As of right now, she's at her older sister's house living with her and her husband, and hasn't done anything to get herself into any more trouble since. I really hope that something like that means she is finally settling down and will finally change her ways of being a witch into someone people can actually love. However, only a month after moving in with her sister, things only got worse as she began to start selling things of her sister's at the pawn shop. And when her sister caught on, her sister's husband went and forced Jennifer out of the house. Jennifer had tried to plead for them to let her back in because at the time she was forced out in only her bathrobe. But they knew better than to do that and called the police on her once again. This time, however, when she was taken into custody, they didn't go as easy on her when she had to go to court and was sentenced to 6 months in jail for theft, which caused her to bawl her eyes out. I guess she really didn't even learn after one time dealing with the law. So hopefully a second time and time spent in a jail cell will put her right. Because if not, she might just end up having to live there for the rest of her life. If not, kill her for messing with the wrong people next time. As for my family and I, ever since Jennifer was kicked out of this house, things have become a lot more peaceful for me. And right now I'm living in a much more relaxed life as a housewife with my husband and my father-in-law. And when it comes to Selena, I'm forever grateful that she helped me fight Jennifer when I had had enough of her. I like to still have her over with the rest of the family and friends quite often still, as a way of thanking her. However, these times I don't force myself to work a ton, and instead have a seat with all of them every once in a while to talk and relax.
Hey Ria, are you there? I just wanted to know what you were thinking being out this late. I mean, do you have any idea at all what time it is right now? You really need to start taking more responsibility for your things. Your room is just a complete mess, and you still aren't home to clean it up at all? Honestly, just what are you thinking? You do realize that now that you're married, it is your job to make sure that your house is kept nice and tidy, don't you?
Oh, hello, Ashley. I'm sorry, but what is all of this that you're talking to me about right now? That's an awful lot of text to get through, and I'd appreciate it if you could just tell me what's going on.
Well, I took it upon myself to visit my son's house and see how he is doing with his new wife. And imagine my shock when I walked inside and realized the state of the house that my poor boy is living in. Just what do you call this mess, huh? I mean, this is your home. You really ought to be taking better care of it, don't you think? How can you even accept living like this? It's just ridiculous. What is the matter with you, Ria?
I'm really sorry that you were upset at the way our house looks when you came over unannounced, Ashley. But the fact of the matter is that I'm very, very busy with work these days, and so I can only do what I'm able to. But the other thing you should know is that basically all of the mess in our house was caused by Sam, so I shouldn't be the one that you talk to about this. After all, I'm only ever able to do a little bit of cleaning during the few spare hours that I have on the weekends. I wish that I could do more, but I just don't have enough time in the week to dedicate to keeping my house clean.
You don't have enough time? Do you have any idea how obvious it is that you're just making up excuses for yourself right now? Listen to me. The matter of fact that you are married now, you're someone's wife, and you need to get that through your head. I mean, you may be working now, but your primary job should be taking care of the house and your husband. You do know that, don't you?
You think that my first priority should always be to keep my house clean and serve my husband? I'm sorry, but I'm just not sure if I agree with that at all. Besides, if Sam has any complaints about the way that we're living, he hasn't said anything to me about anything. So I think that I must be doing enough for him as things stand, or else I'm sure that Sam would have said something to me by now. So while I do appreciate your concern about the state of Sam and I's marriage, I really think that there's nothing to be worried about at all.
You really have no idea what you're talking about at all, do you? None of what you said changes the fact that you are married and have different duties than before you were unmarried.
I understand perfectly what you're saying, Ashley. What I am saying is that my marriage is between my husband and you don't get to make demands of me.
I'm not talking about Sam at all, so you quit bringing up and trying to use him as a shield to hide behind, okay? I'm doing my duty as your mother-in-law to make sure that you are taking care of my son and doing your job as his wife. You think that Sam knows how to judge whether or not a wife is doing what she should be doing? Of course not. That's why it's my job as your mother-in-law to make sure that you're doing everything correctly. Because it is obvious to me that neither you nor Sam have your expectations set correctly, and it is my job to make sure that you learn your duty as my son's wife. So quit telling me, bringing up my son, and tell me that the messes are his, or that he doesn't have any complaints. You don't get to badmouth your husband ever. Do you understand me?
So I suppose I should just keep my mouth shut, wait on Sam hand and foot, and let you tell me exactly how my marriage should be going?
You really have got some nerve talking to me like this, do you know that? I knew that you were going to be no good for my son, but I didn't know that you were going to be such a brat. And even now, you're just out on the town having fun and completely shirking your duties to your husband right now. You don't tell me that you're doing all you can when you're out partying right now.
And just who said anything about me being out partying, huh? You are making that up entirely in your head, Ashley. I am out working right now, if you must know. I told you that I'm busy, and I meant it.
You really think that you can just tell me that you're working and have that be enough for me to believe you and leave you alone? I'm not going to allow myself to be fooled by you at all. There is no way that you're working right now, and I'm not going to fall for your little lie.
I am not lying to you one bit, Ashley. If you don't want to believe me, then that is on you, but don't you dare call me a liar. I have a second job that I have to work at night for, and I have to work this in order to contribute to our family's expenses. That is why I am always too busy to do things like clean the house or do the laundry. I am just too busy with my jobs to be able to do the housekeeping on top of that.
There you again, making up all kinds of excuses just because you don't want to admit that you're a failure of a wife who needs guidance from her mother-in-law.
I already told you that I am not making excuses, Ashley. Why are you acting this way towards me? I just don't understand where you get off.
You know I didn't just show up to your unannounced. If you must know, it was Sam who called me over actually. He told me that his place was a complete mess and that he needed me to come over right away. He told me that he can't stand living like this anymore and wanted my help. Can you believe that your husband feels so alone and hopeless about his living situation that he turned to his mother and not you? Don't you think that tells you a lot about what you need to know? But then he asked me not to mention a word of any of this to you because he actually thinks that you're kind and caring, if you can believe it. He didn't want you to know a word about this, but I was not going to sit back and let you just slide by without realizing just what you're doing to your poor husband.
So that's what's really going on here then, is it? I really don't know why Sam just couldn't have been a little more patient with me. I already told him that I would clean the house as soon as I had a chance and that there was nothing to worry about at all.
I have no idea what you're talking about at all. You really expect me to believe that you were ever going to take care of this mess? If you were going to do it, then you would have done it already. That much is obvious to me. But now it's clear that you need to be taught about what being a good wife means. You are a lazy slacker who is taking advantage of your husband, and I'm not going to allow that any longer.
Are you even reading a word from the messages that I've been sending you? If you're not even going to listen to what I'm trying to tell you, then I think this conversation is over. I am going to have a little chat with Sam about all of this and let him know just how I feel about you coming into our house and criticizing me like this.
I really just can't believe that you're doing this again, Ria. When are you going to learn, huh? I mean, do you really think it's okay for you to be out this late when you're a married woman? Don't you realize the damage you're doing to your marriage by being this selfish? You're just a stain on my family as far as I'm concerned.
What is it now, Ashley? What could you possibly want? What is it that you're messaging me about now, huh? Because I am getting sick and tired of getting these kinds of messages from you.
I just mean that every single day this week you have been out all night doing who knows what, and you are completely ignoring the work that needs to be done at your house. You really are such an irresponsible girl, and you need someone to teach you a lesson. But I have been over with this every week, and I can't even say that I'm disappointed in you anymore.
Hold on a second. Have you really been coming over to our house every single day this week? Why are you doing that? What are you doing that you need to come over to our house so often? And if you're going to be doing that, I would really appreciate it if you'd message me beforehand about you coming over. Although if you really want to know, I have made sure that the house is much, much cleaner than it was a few days ago.
Actually, the reason that I've been coming over is try and see how you're doing. I just need to know whether or not you're still someone who deserves to be married to my son.
Excuse me? You can't be serious about that, right? Are you really saying you're coming over to try and inspect me or something?
I'm just doing what any good mother would and making sure that their son's wife is up to the level that she should be. Is that really so wrong?
Did you really just ask if that's wrong for you to judge your son's wife? Yes, of course that's wrong.
Well, that is what I was afraid that you would say. Although, just from the times I've come over and the conversations we've had, it's clear to me that you are, in fact, not good enough to be with my son. But you should also know that I've taken it upon myself to throw away all your belongings from here, so you shouldn't even bother coming back home here. Now that you spend any time in your own home anyways, you're always out doing who knows what. You really ought to be ashamed of yourself. I mean, do you think this is any way for a married woman to be acting? Don't you feel bad for your husband at all? I'm sure that there are a million other women out there who would be a much better match for Sam.
Hold on a second. Did you really just tell me that you threw away my stuff? Please tell me that you weren't serious about that. Did you really do that?
Of course I did it. You think that I would lie to you about that? Unlike you, I'm not all talk. I act too.
For the last time, I am telling you that I am not out partying or whatever it is that you think I spend my nights doing, Ashley. I am literally working my second job that I need to do in order to support the two of us. But you took my being out of the house tonight as a sign that you could just throw away all of my things? How could you do that to me? What is the matter with you?
What is the matter with me? I want to know what the matter with you is, that what you think you can go run around doing whatever you want at all hours of the night. I only did this because it was obvious that you weren't going to be changing your night-crawling ways anytime soon. I tried to warn you, but you just wouldn't listen to me. You gave me no other choice but to take matters in my own hands.
Have you been reading a single one of these messages that I've been sending you? Why is it like I'm trying to talk to a brick wall when it comes to you? I have told you over and over and over again that I am not going out at night to have fun or party or see friends or anything at all like that. I am out every single night because I am busy working. Don't you get that? I am working to support my husband and I, in fact.
I don't care how many times you repeat the same thing over and over and over to me, because I know that every time you do is nothing but lie. You're a liar, and you're making my husband work all around the clock so that you can do whatever you want. You just want to take advantage of Sam and have him pay for your crazy lifestyle. Admit it. Or don't. I don't care. It doesn't matter at all to me anymore. Know that I've thrown out all your stuff. You're not welcome back to that house anymore. Do you understand me? You are on your own from here on, Rhea.
Well, okay then. I guess you can go ahead and wish Sam good luck when he only earns about $300 a month.
Wait, what? What is that supposed to mean? Why would you say that he only earns $300 a month? What on earth are you talking about?
You know what? I am not going to go along with this conversation anymore. I don't even know why I waste my time with you to begin with. In fact, I already am starting to feel as if a big weight is being lifted off of my shoulders now that you've kicked me out. It's like I'm finally free. I'll even do you one further and tell you that Sam and I are going to be getting a divorce now. Go ahead and let him know that we are through.
Now you hold on there for just a moment. You and I aren't through here until I saw that we're through. Now you rewind and tell me exactly what you meant when you said that he only makes $300 a month. That doesn't make any sense at all, and you will explain yourself right now.
You mean you're finally starting to listen to what I'm trying to tell you? Well, it's about time. Actually, I think it's a bit late if you really want to know. But if you want to know the truth about what's going on, you would be better off asking Sam yourself. Got it? All I've done is tell you the truth about what I've been doing, but you just refuse to listen to me. But the facts of the matter are that I haven't been the one going out and partying every night. That has actually been your son.
Hold on just a moment there. You must be getting the number wrong. There's no way that my son is making such little money. Surely you meant to say that he's earning $300 a month, right? Did you really think I was going to fall for that lie? How dare you keep trying to shift the blame for everything on my son? You have really got some nerve. Just what is even the point of doing that, huh? What do you think you have against him that you need to keep lying to me about you too?
You want to talk about trying to shift the blame onto people? You were the one who threw away all of my stuff to try and get me to end things with Sam, right? Well, guess what? You've won. Congrats! You're going to get your way, and Sam and I are going to get a divorce. You did it! I hope that you're happy, because I never ever want anything to do with you or him ever again as long as I live. Now, good luck supporting Sam when he makes so little on his own, and whatever happens next, leave me out of it.
Rhea, are you there? I was just hoping that you and I could chat about something really quickly. I tried calling you earlier, but you didn't pick up. Are you busy right now? I really do need to talk to you about this.
I am busy, and I don't want to hear your voice even if I wasn't. If you have something that you want to say to me, you can type it out here, thank you very much.
Rhea, come now. Why are you acting this way towards me? We're family, aren't we? You should know better than this.
Family? Us? That's very rich. But no, we're not family. Just hurry up and tell me what you want already.
Well, the thing is that I talked to Sam about you moving out and all, and the divorce.
I really hope that you told him the part where you threw away all of my things and basically left me with no other choice but to leave.
Well, the thing is that Sam and I were talking about all of this, right? And I mentioned to him about what you told me with his lack of money and all, and well, it's true.
I know that. I was the one who told you about that in the first place, and you just kept insisting that I was lying to you, remember? Is that what you came to talk to me about? Because I've already told you the whole truth, and I don't have anything else to say to you. I was honest with you through and through, and you just refused to listen to me.
I know, I didn't listen, but I didn't believe it. I was sure that there was some kind of mistake going on, but then Sam explained it all to me, and it was only then that I realized you were being honest with me.
Well, I'm glad that you've learned that I've been nothing but honest with you over this, but just how many times did you make me explain this to you? You didn't listen to me. You didn't believe me. You ignored all that I was trying to tell you. This is all your fault. So I really have no idea why we're even talking right now.
I thought that you were spending all your nights out of the house partying or something while Sam was working hard to fund your lifestyle. I was just trying to be a good mother and protect my son. Surely you can understand that, right?
I understand that I explained the truth to you over and over again, and you just never listened to me at all. But I don't see how any of this has anything to do with me at all now.
I know, but you can just stop all this and go back to the way things were, can't you?
What do you mean, go back to the way things were? You mean You want me to pretend like none of the past few days happened? You can't be serious about that, right?
I just mean that Sam is so upset with me right now. He's really, really mad. He keeps going on about how it's my fault that you want to leave him. Because he's telling me that he doesn't want to divorce you at all. He doesn't want any of this to be happening. So please, can we just pull all this silliness behind us and go back to the way things were? I realize now that I may have made a mistake here.
You really are one of the most selfish people I've ever met. You know that? I mean, you were the one who threw away my things, and now you want me to come back?
Oh, don't worry. I did my best to get back as much of your stuff as I could. Of course, I sold a lot of your clothes, so those are gone forever, I'm afraid. But I have a bunch of boxes in the house with your name on them. If I return your things to you, will you please not leave my son like this?
Oh, well, thank you so much for getting my stuff, but the answer is still no. We're going to get a divorce, and that is final.
Please, I don't know what else I'm supposed to do. I can't take off my son. I thought that was going to be your job from now on.
Ashley continued to blow up my phone, and I finally had to tell her that I was going to block her and that she would be hearing from my lawyer for what she did with my things. Even Sam began to reach out to me and beg me to come back, but even he gave in and signed the divorce papers finally. The next month, he wasn't able to afford rent in our old place and was forced to move out. He told his mom that since this was all her fault, that he would be moving in with her for the foreseeable future. As for me, after Ashley threw away my things, I moved to a new place and didn't tell either of them where my new address was. Although I have heard through the grapevine that Ashley and Sam are fighting every single night as Sam refuses to get a job and demands that his mom pays for everything. It seems like she's finally realized what a lazy leech her son is, but I'm afraid that it's far too late for her to do anything about that now.
I want to talk with you about meeting my parents tomorrow before the wedding. My dad is a pretty strict man, and he has a pretty thick skull when it comes to anything that he doesn't see as proper. I feel as though he might say some pretty rude things to you tomorrow, Luke. But, of course, you don't have to worry too much. I'm sure things will go just fine. Just know that he'll be asking about money and work and all that, so maybe think of some things to say to him just so that you're ready.
It's all right. I understand. He's giving away his important daughter to another man that he's never met in person before. And that can be pretty stressful for him. And I'm sure he doesn't want you with someone he can't trust. So he needs to make sure I have a job that can support us, and the heart to care for you no matter what.
Well, don't think it'll be all that bad, okay? Just make sure that you're prepared for him to give you a hard time. He's just a really stubborn man, and it worries me a little. But deep down, once he's gotten to know you well, he's like a teddy bear.
You don't have to say that. He has a beautiful daughter, and so he has to become stubborn to protect you from all the men that have their eyes on you. And besides, Jenna, your dad is a business owner, right? So he's always been having to stay strict and tough while making sure his company does well.
Well, I think that you're the perfect man for me and can impress my dad, hence me finally showing you to him. But if my dad can just see how much you love me and want to protect me, that'd be enough, I think. Anything else should be fine after that.
I'll do my best.
Also, even though we're meeting tomorrow, he wants to talk with you before that.
Huh? Before we all get together? So he does want to meet today, then?
Yes, I think he just wants to introduce himself now so that you guys can get right to talking when we all meet. That's why I'd like to tell him your contact information right now. Is that okay?
You can, but...
If he says anything weird to you, you can just ignore him, okay? Alright, I'll tell him right now.
Alright then. Thank you. I am Jenna's father, Frank. I'm looking forward to seeing you. And I'm looking forward to seeing you guys as well. My name is Luke Graves. You should know that I run my own business, right? Yes, I sure do. Of course you do. That must mean you're after my money, correct? I am not at all in this for your money. I have plenty of money myself, so there are no problems there. And the reason that I'm with your daughter is because I plan to love her forever. I can understand that you'd be worried about me, but if you would be kind enough to just take my word for it, then everything would be okay. What's your occupation? You don't seem to be anything like a doctor or a lawyer. That's right, I'm not. But the work I do is very generous to me, so you have nothing to worry about. Are you not going to tell me exactly what you do for a job? Does that mean that the work you do is that repulsive? Not at all, sir. I'd just be more comfortable telling you about my line of work when we meet in person. I'd be able to explain in much more detail everything related to the work I do. And so, I ask that you please wait to hear from me tomorrow. Well, I won't get my hopes up for you. And I will not allow my daughter to marry anyone that's less than middle class. I have a company of my own in my possession, so I can find someone more apt to marry her for me. I just want to say, Jenna has already chosen me to be her husband, and so, seeing you and your wife tomorrow is to show my love and care for her. So I'd be very grateful if you could find it in yourself to trust your daughter's decision. It must take quite a lot of courage for a young man like yourself to talk to me that way. Make sure you're ready for tomorrow. Well then, I'll be preparing myself for tomorrow. I don't want you anywhere near my daughter ever again! You're not allowed to even come close to her ever again in your life, Luke! Do you not even understand what you've just done to me? What you just committed was a crime! A crime, huh? And why do you think that? I was over there to meet you and your wife today before your daughter and I get married, and you chose to hit me in the face with your ashtray! How couldn't that be a crime? I didn't just do it for no reason. You work for the city's public transportation, and that's why I made a clear choice to smack you upside the head with that ashtray. That was my way of protecting my family from thieves like you. I'm sure you understand what it means to protect your family and all, but I was just making sure that my daughter was well protected from a fraud. Protected her? What did I do that was threatening her? A lower-class public transportation worker was trying to take my daughter from me. I never once said that I'd allow my daughter to join someone that low in our society. I have a company to manage and keep, but having someone of your likes in the family would tear it down. I will no longer let you around her, so things are finished here. Now get lost. You understand that I can't just get lost now, right? Excuse me? No matter how much you try and fight me, it'll be no use. I will never allow my daughter to become lower class. Well, if you plan to use that as your only excuse, then you'll be breaking apart our engagement. You'll regret that, Frank. Regret it? You're the one that'll be regretting anything here. I'll make sure that you're full of regrets. If you just thought about all of this, you'd understand why, right? You're a simple transportation worker, and you'll never be able to get your hands on Jenna. If me hitting you in the head with that ashtray has opened your eyes to that, then go away. Then this engagement to your daughter is over. Go away, you low-life scum! And would you please let Jenna know that we're through as well for me? I'm not some public transportation worker. But if that's what you want to continue thinking, then go ahead. Huh? What are you implying here? I can see that explaining myself any further will do me no good. So I'm finished with what I've said. The next time we talk, we'll be in the courtroom. Courtroom? What you just did to me today was assault. I'll have you in court for assaulting me. So prepare yourself, Frank. You think you can sue me with what little money you have? I own a company, Luke. I have a bunch of lawyers at my disposal, so there's nothing you can do to me. Taking me to court will only waste what little money you have left. But let's think for a second. Do you even have the money to afford a lawyer of your own? I'm not sure what your reason is for belittling me this much, but I'm not some public transportation worker. I just gave you a simple explanation of my work, and you came to that incorrect conclusion yourself. I work for the Transportation Bureau for this city. Huh? The Transportation Bureau? I'm sure me saying that is a bit too vague for you, but the work I do is a lot more significant than you have come to think. I have to work with plenty of politicians as well regarding my work. Huh? Politicians? Without having to get too far into detail regarding the exact details, hearing that I work with the government has you pretty excited now, right? But I suppose that happened after all you did to me today. You hitting me in the face with that ashtray will become quite the problem for you here soon. Hold on 1 second, Luke. What kind of joke is this? Why would the Transportation Bureau be working with politicians? That couldn't be! Stop playing games with me! Well, if you want to continue to believe that I'm joking with you, that's on you. I have a lot of things that I'll need to attend to now, so I must go. If you're still wondering which of us two will be regretting today, I'll help you find the answer. Did something happen with you? Luke, this doesn't have something to do with you, does it? What are you talking about? There has been some pressure coming from somewhere, and it is causing my company to go under. And because of that, my company wants to change its CEO. If things keep up like this, then I'm going to be forced out of the company. What the hell is going on here, Luke? Are you saying this is all due to me hitting you earlier? Well, I wonder about that one, Frank. Excuse me? Tell me right now, you little jerk! I'm asking you a very serious question right now. Even if you're taking things serious now, you're far too late. You did in fact hit me in the face with an ashtray, right? I ended up calling some people I know about that, and they transferred me to people that could really help. Do you now understand the severity of what you've done to me? Even if I do understand now, I'm in hot water! Did you tell my daughter about this as well? Right now, she's furious with me for hitting you in the head with that plastic ashtray! Are you wondering why she might be upset with you? You don't have to have any more doubts about it. She's shocked about what you ended up doing and has no faith left in you. She told me that if I can't fix things, she never wants to see me again. Why? She's never acted this way before to me. She's told me that she's not only pissed, but wants to leave you forever. And she has a right to. You hit her fiancé in the face with a literal ashtray. I had to go to the hospital to get help after that. So if you're going to start crying to me to make things better for you, you're already too late, as I've turned in a report of you assaulting me. Huh? A report on me? That's nothing other than a joke! I told you I've had enough of your jokes, Luke! Stop that bullcrap now! I'd never let you report me for jack! If that actually happened, then I'd really lose everything to do with my company. And that wouldn't only just affect me in the end, but my wife and my daughter as well! Come on now. Even though you want to keep denying the truth, it's already in motion due to your behaviors earlier. So really, no matter what you try and say to me now, your time has come. My time has come? There's just no way! I'm apologizing to you right now so you can put all your games to an end now! Do you really think I care for your apologies now, after you wasted so much time complaining to me? You not only hurt me physically with a literal piece of dirty plastic, but when I got to the hospital and told the police how I got my injuries, they helped me write up that report. But hold on, all I did was get up in arms a little bit too quickly, and that's a good enough reason to involve the police? With how sharp and hard that ashtray was, if you'd hit me in the right place, you could have seriously injured me. Do you understand that? You put all your strength into that blow, and it messed me up bad. Thank God I have a thick skull on me. Please, if you keep this up, I'm going to lose my family as well! At least stop yourself from keeping the police involved! Both your wife and daughter are already fed up with you now, so there's no getting around them leaving you. Huh? Your family already understands that they can't stay near you, and so there is little you can do to stop them. So even if I don't keep the police involved, things will not change. Understand that maybe it is time you take this all upon yourself and be responsible for your actions. Is there anything else you'd like to say to me now? I get it. I'll let you marry my daughter. I'll let you marry my daughter and take her from me. But if you leave things as they are, I'll be screwed. If you can't take my word and marry my daughter now, then what else am I supposed to do for you? Jenna and I are already married, Frank. Huh? But you're not going to be a part of the family. Well, if you're already married to my daughter, then why are you doing all of this? Why do you keep coming at me? I'm not coming at you whatsoever, Frank. Jenna herself is already well into her adult life, and so, if she says she's wanting to marry me, then it's decided. But of course, if you'd just been a bit strict with me and said no, I might have tried a bit harder to gain your trust. However, instead, you chose to be violent and hit me on the head. And so, now your family can no longer trust you, nor feel safe around you. This is all because of your inability to act as a respectable man yourself. And so now, I have to defend myself and my wife from you. Don't you feel like you're taking this too far, though? I want to make sure that you understand what you've done and regret it. And I will not stop until that day has come for you. You're already too late to stop me now, so just give up on trying anything. So now, how do you feel about talking to the police? The police? So then you were serious about that? What is your goal? And I mean your real goal! Do you want my money or something? How much of it? I'll get it for you, so just tell me however much you want. That's it right there, Frank. Huh? What? I do not need your money. And I've said that already before, right? I am not in any way financially struggling, so don't act as though I want anything of yours. Yet all you keep thinking about is money. That's why this has happened. You thought that I wanted to marry your daughter for your money, but that was just not the case. And even if it was, that's no excuse to hit me with an ashtray. Shouldn't this all be something you knew before you had a family? I understand that now. You don't understand. And that's why this is still going on. You just asked me how much of your money I wanted because you still think that's what all this is about. You should learn from all of this, that not everyone on this planet is worried about money like you. Well, it doesn't matter if you learn or not now. I've already got the police involved, and I have the injuries to prove you assaulted me. I'll pay for you to get treated, please! I'm Jenna's father, Luke! I know that. And that's why you decided to hit me, right? Now, I'll be going. Wait a second! Forgive me, right now! And as a final note, you have your answer. You're the one that's going to be regretting all of this. And after that, the police went and took Frank into custody, which to everyone's surprise was easy considering the fact that he was so angry. They then took him to the police station and questioned him to learn everything they could about the report that was filed. And luckily enough, he confirmed it was all true and made things much easier for me. He was also moved out of his position as the CEO within the company, as they knew from me what was going on. And after being taken out of the position, he was offered no package and was fired for going against company policy. And that was by him being a criminal. He also lost all his family and is pretty much in ruin now as he tries to comprehend why this all happened so fast. His wife was out of their house almost immediately after seeing the police take him, and she herself has a lawyer that's working on the divorce, and Jenna stayed to tell him that she no longer wanted him in her life. But then after her final words, she was out of the house as well. During that time, I was working with my lawyer to make sure that I did in fact get money from him after what he had done to me. But as I said before, I was in no real need for his money. And so, after going through court and me winning the case, he gave me $15,000 to pay for both my time in the hospital and for the trouble caused. I took that money thereafter and used it for Jenna's and my wedding, and viewed that money as a present from her dad to help support our marriage. Of course, I did put some of that money into the medical expenses, as I did have to get a lot of tests done to make sure that my brain was okay, as well as having to get stitches for the gash on my head. There was also a small fracture to my skull that I needed to keep an eye on, and that alone goes to show just how hard he hit me with that ashtray. Also, since Jenna has been married to me even before leaving her dad, she didn't have to worry about where to go next after leaving the house, and so she came to my house to live, and never has to worry about her dad again. Ever since he'd lost everything, not much is known about where he went, but I'm sure wherever that may be, he's trying his best to get back on top. But of course, that'll be impossible.